Hello, I'm Brent Neilsen. I'm the Executive Officer for Age Concern in Hamilton, and we're here to talk about the issues of elder abuse. The research behind what we do says that 1 in 10 over 65-year-olds experience elder abuse, and out of those cases, there's probably 1 out of 7 that are noticed and reported. The abuse typically takes one or more of 4 forms, and so there's financial abuse, there's psychological abuse, there's physical abuse, and there's sexual abuse. Financial abuse often starts small. The older person might consent to their credit card being used for groceries, but then the perpetrator of elder abuse takes privileges. So they might take mum or nana shopping, and then they start to buy their own groceries. The second most common that we deal with is psychological abuse. Might call it emotional abuse. And most common there, again, comes from family. It's financially motivated most often. And that's, for example, unless you change your will so that it's in my favour, you won't be seeing your grandchildren again. And those are the kind of things that you will pick up in conversation. Less common is physical abuse, and beyond that is sexual abuse. About 1% of the cases involve sexual abuse. I'm going to talk about physical abuse because the most common abuse that we see in that realm is restraint. Some families have no option but to move back in with that older person, with mum, with nana, with granddad. And sometimes over time that relationship becomes strained. The worst situations we see are where locks have been installed on the outside of the older person's door because they've become a nuisance. If ever you or your team see a lock installed on the outside of a bedroom door, then that must be removed. Can you imagine the dangers of needing to leave in a hurry, fire, let alone just the needs of toileting and cooking and so on? The other type of physical abuse that we see is neglect. Now that can be neglect from others or neglect from self. Where you're seeing somebody who's unkempt, who's not showered, shaved, their hair is not done, those types of things, then they may be being deprived of that by their family members, or they may be neglecting themselves. It's helpful to have a conversation with the older person, so to explain to them that that neglect or that lock that's been installed or that family member helping themselves to your money from your account is not okay. It's not normal, it's not trusting, and it's not okay. And to have that older person phone the 0800 number themselves or phone Age Concern themselves, that's equally as good, if not better, than you passing the information on for us to investigate. We see very little institutional abuse, institutional meaning rest homes and retirement villages. Every now and again there's a bad egg, but mostly those organisations have got good screening, good processes, good systems to make sure that people are monitored and are safe. Sadly, most abuse does occur in the home.